Hello! This video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon and my members on YouTube. Minasan, hontou ni arigatou gozaimasu. My name is Kurt. Today is the 7th day of January 2024, day 343 on my countdown to retirement. I do this video every day. It's called my Good Life Meditation. It's to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, which you can get a copy of from the link down in the description. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with any particular challenges and opportunities of note, particularly the ones that took me by surprise. I think about the current day, talk about all the things I plan to do today. I actually have a list, and then I prepare myself for death. But before I do any of that, I like to read a poem. And I'm going to turn back to John Keats, my recently completed reading of the collected works of John Keats, the complete works of John Keats. And I'm going to reread a poem of his that I marked here in yellow, that indicate that yellow you can't quite see, indicates that that's a poem that was significant to me. So here we go, let's give it a reading. It's called The Human Seasons, and this is a rare one that the title and the first line are not the same. Usually Keats says the same. Here we go. The human seasons. 4 seasons fill the measure of the year. There are 4 seasons in the mind of man. He has his lusty spring, when fancy clear takes in all beauty with an easy span. He has his summer, when luxuriously springs honeyed cud of youthful thought he loves to ruminate, and by such dreaming nigh he is nearest unto heaven. Quiet coves his soul has in its autumn, when his wings he furleth close, contented so to look on mists in idleness, to let fair things pass by unheeded as a threshold brook. He has his winter, too, of pale misfeature, or else he would forego his mortal nature. Wow, wow. And I highlighted here in deep yellow the lines about the autumn, which is where I am now. His soul has in its autumn, when his wings he furleth close. That's what I'm doing right now with my career. Contented so to look on mists in idleness, to let fair things pass by unheeded as a threshold brook, as unobserved as a small stream passing in front of the house that has been there all along that we hardly notice anymore. I used to be that way with the sea in front of my house when I was the caretaker of that beach in Northern California. It's a beautiful, beautiful poem of the 4 seasons and the energies of spring, of youth. Let's read the summer part again. He has his summer, when luxuriously springs honeyed cud of useful thought he loves to ruminate. So, munching away at the memories of and anticipations, the ambitions of spring. And by such dreaming nigh is nearest unto heaven. That would be the high point, and then begin the descent. But I would argue, though, that the autumn is yet still better. In fact, I would say, for me, my measure has been every decade is better than the last. I would not trade my 50s for my 40s, or my 30s, or for my 20s, or my 20s for my teens, for anything, even to do it all over again. No, thank you. I like right now, right here, where I am, no matter how little time I have left, even if it's just another hour or another 5 minutes. All right, let's begin. Last night and yesterday, I slept good last night. I had the window open just a little bit. The wind was blowing. I think there was a little rain as well. It was ocean wind. The wind coming off the sea is different. carries something in it. The, the wet of the sea, the sense of the sea, the smell of the sea, the force of the sea. And that wind came up the beach, the mile from the beach to where I live here, right up Huntington Street and in through the window. And since I go to the beach every day to swim, I feel it firsthand right there. After my swim, I always come out and I stand on the sand, dripping wet, and let the cold air, the same cold wind, just envelop me. It's interesting because when I read Richard Henry Dana's book, 2 Years Before the Mast, where most of the book takes place right here with the ship, the Pilgrim, passing back and forth between the various ports here, Santa Barbara, San Pedro, and San Diego. And he talks about the afternoon wind that rises here in this area right off Huntington Beach, which was not Huntington Beach at the time. And I go, yes, it's there every afternoon. That same wind rises, and that same wind that was carried on into evening, into night even, deep night and deep early morning, and blew in through my window last night and felt so good. I hope that Yumiko and I can find a place. I've always had the window open at night. I hope that Yumiko and I can find a place where we can enjoy such a delicious wind, night air. Yesterday was an ambitious day. Oh my gosh, have a look at my to-do list. There were 18 items on it for a Saturday. That's a big list. By comparison, today, a Sunday, has only 12. And I did them all. It was a marathon, though. I had to work hard all through the day to get all these done. And I guess that's one of the reasons why I'm so often, in a settled sense, because I don't let things pile up. I just do them. I do with the hard stuff as needed. So it was a good day for that yesterday. More walking like Caesar. See some past videos if you want. In fact, one of the Stoic poetries I uploaded yesterday talks specifically about that. What did I give the title for that, though? Hold on. Oh, I gave it the title from the Keats poem, didn't I? The one I read yesterday, which was, "And he's awake who thinks himself asleep." So if you're curious about what I'm talking about walking like Caesar, look for yesterday's. That would have been the 6th of January's upload on Stoic Poetry, a playlist titled "He is asleep. He is asleep who thinks himself awake. Or he is awake who thinks himself asleep." There you go. And it feels good. Boy, more and more, I just pass through the day with, although I can talk here now for a half hour easily, I pass the day with fewer words. I have less and less to say, because I feel, I think the word is satiated, fulfilled, satisfied in my living. And I no longer feel so necessary to fill the void with words, but I do this deliberately here because I have a mission and a purpose in doing this, namely to share the objectives and principles that have gotten me here by virtue of my efforts at going alone. And so I'm starting to get the yield now. Was there anything in particular that challenged me, though, yesterday? Can't think of any. Okay, so I'll move on from yesterday to the good life. I have 8 objectives and 35 principles to go over. And today I'm going to talk in detail about the principle called family. The good life principle of family is in place as a reminder of the importance of creating an infrastructure of human connection to help us to fulfill our innate purpose, and as a scaffolding upon which we can climb to heights we cannot reach on our own. Our purpose being to have children and to see those children into safely and successfully into adulthood. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to biologically be ours. They can be somebody else's, or it could be being a good aunt and uncle, but we need to do that to fulfill our one implicit biological mandate, which is to pass our genes or some genes into the next generation to carry on our species for whatever to whatever end life seems to be. Well, no, there is no particular end, or maybe there is. I just don't know what it is yet. But it seems to be that that's the one thing we need to do. All life needs to do is to stay alive a reasonable amount of time to get our genes into another generation, or to help get a set of genes that we wish to help into another generation to carry on in our stead before we pass away. Family allows us to do that. It's the vehicle by which children are created, nurtured, and fostered, if otherwise, and then brought about, and then it's a generational thing. It just keeps on. It's a wheel that keeps on spinning. Secondly, family is the scaffolding, like I said, that helps us to climb higher, to be more secure, to have someone to help us if we fall, and to be there to help others when they fall, and to come together to celebrate this thing of life. And now, as I get into my autumn of my life, pretty deep into the autumn, I see also the great importance of having family to be our support, our encouragement, again, our infrastructure in our old age. My wife and I are now closing in on 60. We're healthy at this time. I don't expect that to last. I expect that we'll begin to, I've got arthritis already kicking in, so I should say that moderate, I'm still healthy, but it's beginning to have its effect. I expect that we will begin our decline. And having our daughter, not necessarily to catch us, but to help to administer our passage through that difficult time will be helpful. Yumiko and I wish to, and I won't go into detail because it's not the right time to talk about that, but Yumiko and I are taking every effort we can to make sure that we don't become a burden upon our daughter, but it will be good to have someone to help look after us. For example, the couple 2 doors down, Bob and Laurel, I've mentioned them, and elsewise, they are in a desperate condition. Laurel being only 7 years older than Yumiko and I, Bob a few years older than that, they're without family, are in a desperate position. I've had to go with their permission to the authorities to bring the social workers in to bear to help them out. That's scary to see. Again, it doesn't mean that I'm expecting Emily, our daughter, to bring us meals and to tend to us and to stay with us in our old age, but it does mean that I would like someone to be, it would be good to know that there's Emily to turn to make those executive decisions and administer our affairs in whatever meager estate we possess at that time, and to see us through. Although, I won't say it. Well, I will say it. No, I won't. Yumiko and I were talking about that, and she said something. Yumiko, my wife, has a way of cutting through to the point in her observations of the world. She's the wisest person I know. She said something the other day that I found deep and profound and slightly unsettling, because she's willing to go places of the mind that sometimes I'm scared to see. But I won't share it. That will remain between the two of us. It's also good to have a companion, which is part of family, to share life with. I didn't want a family. My family was rather broken, my own, when I was raising, and as a result it soiled me from the idea, and I didn't want it. But I got really lucky that a little bit of intuition within me as I was running from the idea got the better voice. It carried the day, and I turned around literally and went back to my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, and that was the embarkation point of closing in on soon 4 decades of shared time together. That has made all the difference. Family has made all the difference. And boy, I'll just end with this. Does it make a difference being now an empty nester? Boy, does it make a difference being an empty nester. Having that experience and come through the other side. There's something about it. It's like leaving a message in a bottle before you depart and throwing it into the sea, although much deeper and richer than that. Having a child that will remain, ostensibly after I'm gone, time will tell, is a very, very satisfying thing. It's akin to having written a book and telling your story and leaving that behind, but more satisfying still. Okay, I think I've gone on and on enough about family. Okay, now let's talk about, let's go through the Good Life Creed. I will not enumerate them, but I will illustrate the objectives, of which there are 8 with my fingers. Here we go. They are: 1, to be always ready to die. 2, to make good and effective use of time. 3, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles. 4, to cultivate good emotional reactions. 5, to perform good actions. 6, to recognize true limits and true opportunities. 7, to do just one thing at a time, and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. And then 8, the objective of balance, to keep on my feet, upright, steady. That's more along the lines of that walking like Caesar stuff. It really is contributing to this sense of balance. There we go. 35 principles in lightning order. Let's see if I can get all 35. War, reason, homunculus, anchorhold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, nature, pirate ride, maturity, social principle, family, public speaking, temperance, life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be borne, the feast of woeful, distraction, agency, and the great indifference. Why do I feel like I'm missing one? The restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure. The risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion. Season of philosophy. I think I missed one. The season of philosophy. The one I missed is the best seat in the house. Or maybe I said it. Complete oblivion. The season of philosophy. Complete oblivion. The season of philosophy. Script writing. The bullseye aim. The uphill climb. Arena and utility. Nothing is enough. The principle of fun. And being prepared. Now that's, by my count, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34. I did miss that one. I know the one I missed. It's the best seat in the house, so I'll just throw it in there a little late. But I missed it in its order. I was going too fast. I skipped and tumbled over it, didn't I? Or missed it altogether. Okay, so I guess it counts as 35 as long as I can, successfully say them all. Okay, now as for today, it's a Sunday. What am I going to do today? Well, I've already answered all my YouTube comments. That's something I do first thing in the morning. The very first thing is I answer all my YouTube comments. I've already answered responded to all my YouTube comments, responded to all my meta comments. That includes Instagram and Facebook. I've answered all my email. The book has been claimed by Josh, so I'll send this to you, Josh. If you see this video, and I sent you an email already, but I'll send it to you just as soon as I finish collecting out those poems from it. The next comes up, after I'm done with this, I'll read the Bible. I'm still reading the book of Luke. Then I'll complete my Good Life meditation, this. Then I will update my journal. I will update 10 YouTube assets on the channel. You help me with AI to help me. I will then upload 3 YouTube shorts. I will check my Shopify store, do any work there. The Keats book, I will do a swim, and then I need to go to the beach and do my book reading. I'll read a chapter of Going Alone, and then that's it. And then I got the day free to do whatever else I want. Although that's a lot, right? I've got the day free to do what else I want from there. Then I finish now with a question. Am I ready to die? Now, this is an empirical question. I can actually determine if I actually am, because I have criteria. These are 3. First criteria, are my affairs in order? This means my finances, my paperwork. Am I all straight and paper square? Nice setup? Yes, they are. I've talked about this many times. But all my paperwork is in order. And also, very importantly, all of the accounts are set up so that if I die, my wife gets my pension in 100% for the rest of her life. That's really key to all of this. One of the reasons I can be at peace is that I know that if I die, my wife is taken care of for life. That's really key. So yeah, number 1 is complete. Number 2, this second criteria, is are my relationships sound? Do I have anybody that I need to have, that I have any unfinished business with? No. But Kurt, your mother. Yes, but I make every effort I can to reach my hand out to my mom. And if she chooses not to take it, I can't. That's the scope of my control, right? So yes, that is in order too. Although I wish I could have a relationship with her. If I cannot, then that's the reality. And then the third one is my life's work complete? There are 2 criteria for my life's work. One is my daughter, and she's raised, nearly graduated from university, and has a good job offer in hand. And 2 is my other life's work being my book, which is done. Especially so since I added a nice Keats quote to one of the objectives yesterday, one of the principles yesterday, and I noticed when I checked my email this morning that it's all uploaded. The book has been updated online. Yeah, I'm even more ready than ever. Okay, so with that, this Good Life meditation is complete. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.